I just want to start this one off. No, fuck you. I want to start this one. No, I'm just kidding. No, but, I do want to say, as an opener here, happy birthday, Jackie. You're 23 this year. Yes, sir.
23 this
round
year.
of applause. Round of applause. How you feel being big 23?
I feel dead.
Dead? Okay.
Dead.
All right.
I feel grateful. I feel grateful. I feel dead. All the above. It's kind of easy to keep up with my age. Sometimes I lose track of it. And then I'm like, I'm 1 year off of the actual year. For any creep who wants to keep like a spreadsheet of Jackie's age, it's not hard to. I was born in 2001. So just a year back from every year.
Yep. That's why I like to think of the year as my age, but I was born so late in 2000 that it's just kind of like, okay, most of this year I'm going to be one off. And then now I'm, at the end of the year, I'm like, okay, now my age is the year. What's up?
Guess what I have in my possession for today?
Ooh, what?
So actually my birthday was 2 days ago, but yesterday we stopped by her Grammy's restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, boy.
For our audio listeners, it's a chess square.
Oh yeah, it's one of
the
I think I
best chess
explained
squares.
it on the food episode. One of the things I've fallen absolutely in love with is her grandmother's chess squares. And we went up to the restaurant and she was like, "Go ahead." And I was like, yeah, get some milk with this.
Yeah, this man has got a stranglehold on those chess squares. Because I even remember at your wedding reception, she brought out a whole separate pan just for you.
Amen.
And then said, any ones that haven't been eaten on the table are also yours, if I'm not mistaken.
My lady made fun of me because we get to pick what we eat on our birthdays.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's like a basic thing, right?
Yeah. She
wants a full steak dinner. I believe I've told you this. She wants steak, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes or baked potatoes, some green beans, all that stuff.
It's a good list.
I just wanted chicken Alfredo. And she looked at me and she was like, I make chicken Alfredo any day of the week. I was like, but it's my favorite.
I mean, you could also make a steak dinner any day of the week. I do.
It's just expensive.
Yeah, it's a little more expensive, yeah, but you still could. I mean, chicken Alfredo, though, is pretty cheap on the meal list, so I definitely feel like she could make it any day out of the week. But hey, it's your birthday. You get what you want.
Absolutely.
If she made it yesterday and you said you want it today, well, now she's got to make it today, too.
When we were at the restaurant, she looked at her Grammy and she was like, yeah, he just wanted chicken Alfredo. And the Grammy was like, well, is that what he wants? She was like, yeah. And she was like, well, you make that baby some chicken Alfredo. And I was sitting across the booth looking at her like.
It's like, gotcha. You thought you could pull one over on her, but nope, she's on my side.
What were some birthday traditions you had growing up?
So a lot of the holidays, like birthdays and then actual holidays, my family just kind of gets together and has an event around that date when everybody can get off because we're all so work minded.
Yeah.
So sometimes we've celebrated Christmas. I want to say a day before or 2 days after or something like that, just when everybody could get off of work. And I do the same thing for my birthday. But more recently, I have been getting that day off and then either with family or friends, depending on who I could be around at that time, we'll just go to a place of my choosing. I remember the last couple years I've gone to this place in Murfreesboro. It's a MJ's pool bar.
Yeah.
Gone there last couple times and, we shot the shit. And then I think for my most recent birthday, what did I do? I can tell you I probably wasn't sober. I don't remember. I want to say I just went out to eat somewhere with everybody. Sounds like the right thing.
I don't even ask for birthday gifts anymore. And
Oh,
I think my family has grown accustomed to not asking me anymore, because this year I didn't get one text of like, what do you want for your birthday? I got one from my dad like 2 hours before midnight saying like, hey, I know it's late, but what do you want for your birthday? I was like, it's not only late, it's hella late. You got 2 hours to get that gift, my boy.
Better hit up whatever Walmart's still open.
But I hate asking for stuff from people, even if it's a day where I'm supposed to ask for stuff from people. I hate it.
I feel
even
that.
with my lady. My lady really has to take a crowbar and pry to get anything that I want.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because I remember on your 21st, I remember getting you a bottle of Crown. Was it Crown? Yeah. On your 22nd, I don't think I was around you that time. Was I? Did you do anything last year for your birthday?
I think you got me a bottle of Jack Honey.
That sounds about right. I might have gotten you another bottle. This year, your birthday happened to line up right when I paid off most of my expenses for the month.
Yeah.
So I really couldn't do much. But my granddad did, give me some money and for doing something for him. And since I couldn't bring you the scale, I did give you some money towards it. So I'll take that as my gift.
The scale, not for cocaine.
Yeah. I mean,
for weight loss. I mean, I guess you could use it for cocaine too.
Could, if you want to measure in pounds.
If you want to start sniffing feet. Which actually, a foot sniffer who's also a cocaine addict, I don't want to be around that person, but you can make some hella good money off of him.
I don't want to be around that person either.
Especially if you're like, this cocaine, straight off the scale, my brother. That scale, and you open the bathroom door and it's a weighted scale that you stand on. Straight off the scale. Just cut it this morning. And they're like, I'll pay double. I know you will.
For the record, anybody listening to this, don't do any of that.
I know you will, you sick little fuck.
No, but I do get the feeling of like not wanting anything, like wanting to ask for anything of anybody, because I do that with my family for like Christmas, and they've taken to me, my cop-out answer just be like, I'll take some clothes. I need socks or something.
Yeah, I really need socks. Like, when you're a kid, you hate getting socks or a lot of the times clothes. Just because it was usually just a plain black and white shirt for me.
Yeah.
But for Christmas, if I do get asked, what do you want? I'll send a website or two that has clothes on it. Just give me something off of here and I'll be cool.
Yeah. I've always had the expensive taste in my family. So even for like Christmas, like I remember a couple Christmas, when I still wrote down Christmas lists, that I wrote down like computer parts or something one Christmas, and they were like, what is even this? Like, what is this?
I thought the most expensive I ever got for a Christmas thing is a PlayStation, because I really, really, really wanted a PlayStation. And it got to a point where I told my dad, because they weren't getting anything out of me, what I wanted. I was like, here's what you can do. You can combine your money with mom, and you can buy me a PS4. I want a PS4. And he was like, that's unreasonable. I was like, how is that unreasonable? You're both going to get me a gift. You're both going to get me multiple gifts. So just take that money, combine it, and get me a goddamn PS4. Because that's what I want. I don't want anything else. So you're being unreasonable. Sure. Okay.
I can only imagine. How old were you when you got the PS4?
I didn't ever get a PS4 for Christmas. The PS4 that I ended up getting was like my mom's boyfriend's old one.
I could just imagine like young Jackie just, look, so I'm a reason with you.
Yeah.
Put your money with mom's money. PS4.
I was in the Boss Baby suit. I had the sunglasses. I had snapping. I had twins on me that would,
at the Cuban, hanging at the lit, not even lit.
Absolutely. I never had expensive taste. One time my mom tried to throw it in my face over something I didn't ask for. Remember how I told you that we would get a big Christmas present every year?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one year it was headphones. We all got a pair of headphones. And she got me Beats, which are some of the most overrated headphones. I think everybody knows now Beats aren't great. There aren't great headphones for $200. At the very least, in their peak, they were $200. But she got me a pair of black and red Beats, and I opened it. I was like, oh, yeah, good. Oh, wow, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she grabbed the receipt, and she put it in my face, and it said $200. And I was like, okay, what are you doing? Why are you trying to hold I didn't ask for Beats, dude.
Like, why are you showing me this? Is there any significance? No, I remember my family for Christmas. I had a few big gifts over the years. So I think it started out with an Apple Watch. Might be the one that I'm usually wear. I think this is it. It was like the newest Apple Watch. And then the other year was a bass guitar because I was getting more into bass than I already was at that point. And they figured it'd be a good gift, and it was. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't. And after that, I just ran out of ideas, so I said clothes.
I felt really, really bad one year because my aunt and uncle got me a Spider-Man wallet, or like a comic book wallet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been good on reactions. But I opened it. I was like, oh yeah, thank you. You know, means a lot, whatever. Put it away. And then my grandparents got me something. And I can't remember what it was. But I opened it and I had a bigger reaction. Now, a bigger reaction for me was like, good, cool. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Looked over at my uncle and he was like, oh, they got him the good present. And I was like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I did not mean to slight you.
I can be grateful and say I haven't had that issue come up like at all. Usually my family will pull their money for a big gift like that.
I'm not a big reaction person and my lady hates it.
I'm not either.
And my dad experienced it one time where he worked security for Dolly Parton.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave this massive Christmas bonus one year. And he was able to pay off a lot of debt and do something he had wanted to do for years, which was take us to Disney World. So he got us all together. He got us all together in my grandparents' living room. And he was like, we're going to Disney World. And me and my brothers stood around and were like, awesome. It's going to be fun. And he was like, and we were like, yeah, it's going to be fun. And he was like, anything. Anything.
Any reaction. Please. Fake it, please. Something.
That was us telling like, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it sounds about right. My, not really much anything like that surprising going on, but I don't think I've ever had like a genuine like excitement reaction to like some news about a trip or a vacation or anything. It's usually just like, oh, okay, cool.
I guess
that sounds like fun. Yeah.
I guess we're going.
Yeah, I've never. I think even like senior year of high school when they were like, this year's trip is going to be Disney World, because I think we went that year, and I remember just sitting there like, oh, cool.
Sick. Shut the fuck up.
And then I texted my mom just saying, hey, I'm going to Florida without you this time, because she had been like 3 times prior.
I screamed at my computer, by the way. That wasn't.
Oh, I saw it in your face.
Any listeners who want to call me, have Tourette's, he just said, fuck you. My computer went off for no particular reason. I have to address this. because it's on my mind, and I do feel really bad. We are recording this at 10:40 p.m.
Yes, sir.
on the day we were supposed to. And we usually record this on Tuesdays, but Z was away from
out of
his
town.
computer. So we couldn't do that. We were supposed to record when we got home tonight, and I was asleep. You know what's bullshit about this?
What?
Today was one of the days I've had in a long time. I used to do this almost every day, where I slept 90% of the day. 90%.
I could imagine, because I texted you when I left my hometown, and then I made it back here like an hour and a half later, and I was like, oh, we hadn't said anything. Texted you again, I was like, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm chilling. Then I got on Discord and played some games.
Yeah.
And then I was about ready to shut it off for the night, and then I saw your text and was like, oh, he's alive.
Yeah, I got home from taking my lady to work, in which I have to get up at 5 in the morning. I think I've said this a couple times. I have to get up at 5 in the morning, drive her through traffic all the way to Nashville, and then come back and then do the same thing in the afternoon. And this is supposed to be a bit of a deep episode, so I'll talk about why it was such a crappy day today, because it's in line with my mind and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I got home, took care of the dogs, and then around 9 o'clock, I decided to come in the room. And one thing I'm hopping on now, and we could talk about this a little bit to make it lighter, X-Men. The X-Men universe.
Yeah.
I watched all of X-Men 97. I'm watching the original 90s X-Men show now. And today I turned on the first X-Men movie with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine and Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
First Class or that's first? No.
X-Men.
Yeah,
The first X-Men movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch all of them because now I'm very invested. But I'm bringing this up because I watched an hour and 15 of this movie, and the movie is an hour 40 minutes long, and I fell asleep. And I woke up and the movie was over, but I was just like, all right, I'll find where I was and just continue because I wanted to watch it.
I'm looking at this X-Men movie list right now, and I'm just noticing that I didn't start watching the X-Men movies until X-Men Origin.
The only X-Men movies I've seen before this is First Class, which I loved. Origins Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
And a little bit of Apocalypse. And then maybe clips of the original trilogy when I was growing up.
Like, I might have seen X2, but I don't remember seeing X-Men or The Last Stand.
But I got back to where I was, and I started to play it, and I fell asleep again. Woke up, and it was over. I was like, fuck. Did it again. Fell asleep again. And I was like, I'm not giving up. It took me, I started that at 10 a.m., and I did not finish that movie until 1 o'clock. Because I kept falling asleep. And I was like, I'm watching it.
See, I have that same feeling with other movies. Like, I was watching Interstellar a while back, and I fell asleep like halfway into that 3-hour movie. And I'm afraid of going back and watching because I feel like the same thing will happen again. Because I have that same issue that you had today.
Yeah.
Like, I will watch a movie, and if it's like slow moving, I will fall asleep, and I'll wake up at the end and be like, damn, I gotta watch it again. And I'll just stay in that cycle for a little bit.
See, I can't watch 3-hour movies anymore. It's why I've wanted to get to Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League, because I hear it's better than the original Justice League.
It is.
But holy fuck.
Yeah.
It is so long. And
Yeah.
especially now with most streaming services having commercials where a 3-hour movie will turn into a 3.5-hour movie. 3-hour and 45-minute movie.
I can't remember when I watched the Zack Snyder version or the Zack Snyder cut, but I feel like it was when I lived here. I made it through. I can say that much. It was long. It's very long.
Yesterday, I did myself no favors. I told you I watched X-Men 97.
Yeah.
Have you checked it out?
My roommates watched it. I hadn't.
I went into the first episode and I was like, okay, this is going to be a kids' TV show that I'm going to watch if I just want to have a little fun. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go in with that mindset. And I watched the first episode and I was like, oh, it's not that. This show is for the people who watched the original 90s cartoon who are now older. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the first episode, and it was like 10 o'clock at night. My lady had gone to sleep, and I ended up watching the entire first season. It was really, and now Gambit is my favorite Marvel character. Favorite X-Men character, absolutely, by far. I haven't had a favorite X-Men character. If you said like, what's your favorite X-Men character, I would have probably said Wolverine as a base. But now it is 110% Gambit. Gambit is so fucking cool.
Gambit is cool. I would still say Wolverine though, because he's just my favorite X-Men character. But Gambit is really cool.
Gambit, just his power level, if he used it to its full extent, is insane. He can turn any object, just fill it with kinetic energy and turn it. In the show, he blows up an entire, like, Omega Sentinel just by grabbing it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this dude could kill everybody if he really wanted to.
Hell yeah.
And in the comics, he can do it to humans, even. He can grab you by the neck and fill your body with kinetic energy and throw you. And you'll just be no more. And he rocks with the bow staff, which is amazing. And he's Cajun, which I find very fun. And for some reason, I always enjoyed the playing card vibe. A character who's good with playing cards, whether that's throwing or just being a great poker player.
They usually end up being really cool characters.
Yeah. And his name's Remy LeBeau. Come on. I will say I get jealous because motherfucker's married to Rogue. You bagged Rogue.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, you are my hero, my boy.
Well, man, he looks, yeah.
I will say in the movies, he's played by the same guy. Did you watch Battleship?
No.
Did you watch John Carter?
Yes. Yes.
He's John Carter.
Nice.
Yeah. He looks like Gambit.
Damn, so John Carter just unlocked a memory. I forgot that movie existed. That's the Mars one, right?
Huh?
John Carter is that movie on Mars?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I had a dog named Kuma, and his middle name was Woola because of Woola in that movie. You remember Woola?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Speedy dog. Ugly as shit, but speedy.
You just called your dog ugly as shit? Is that what I'm hearing?
I guess.
All right.
A little bit of an ugly dog.
We'll take it.
But I got attached to that show. Really, I think it was the third episode where the character Jubilee. Have you heard of Jubilee?
No. I
can't really describe her power. She shoots like colorful fireworks out of her hands. If I can't really describe it, but she gets trapped in a video game with her love interest, and it's going through the video game it's controlled by this villain who feeds off of brain rot, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
She makes her slaves, or I guess indentured. Is that how you say it? Indentured?
Yeah. If you're talking
indentured servants watch TV shows or video games that she puts on that I guess she forces the X-Men to get involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And the video game she was going through is a bunch of scenarios where she was fighting different bad guys.
Yeah.
Like through her life. It was her memories. And the whole lesson of it, without spoiling the show, the whole lesson was she got trapped in nostalgia, living in the past. You know, she wasn't able to take her life in the present, like she wasn't able to experience it fully because she was always living in the past.
Yeah.
And I felt that because I am constantly doing that. Not only am I constantly doing that, I'm living in a imagined past, if you want to say.
Mm-hmm. Because the way you
past,
remember things were different than the way they actually were. Is that what you mean?
No.
Okay. Then,
no, it's...
Yeah, okay.
It's living in a past that I feel I would have lived had I given a shit earlier. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you're working in Amazon, you get trapped in your mind.
You
especially
have a
when you're
lot
picking.
of time to think.
Yeah, especially when you're picking and you're by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You get lost in your mind because there's really nothing else to do. Even if I have a podcast or music in my ear, I get lost in my head, lost in my thoughts.
Yep.
And a lot of the times, I will be imagining myself back in high school being the football player. Yeah, I was really good at football. And still me, still quiet, don't really talk to anybody, but just imagining that over and over and over again. And I enjoy living in that reality for a little bit. Not to make this super depressing, but...
Okay, yeah.
I find myself, you know, living in that. And it holds you back. It really does.
Yeah. Sounds like it would. Because you're imagining just like, man, if I had done this, where would I be now? And then you start getting off into that rabbit hole.
Well, living in the past already holds you back in general, wishing for the good old days instead of trying to make good old days, you know?
Yeah.
But when you add on top of that, living in a fairy tale, an imagined past, it adds some stank on it. It puts some steak sauce on that fat ass ribeye.
No, when I was at Amazon, a lot of the times I would, be in my own head. I would usually just cancel that out and think nothing. Because you know how it's always said that men can think of nothing. Well, I usually would just think of white noise. Because I'd just be zoned out completely. Like, I'm pretty sure if you had seen me, you would see, like, there's not a thought in this guy's head. Because that's what would happen. I would just zone. I wouldn't be at Amazon while I was at Amazon, if that makes any sense.
You know, I always try to wonder, or I try to think on times where I've literally just been blank in the head. And I can't do it. I don't know if my mind is just like too active for it.
Happens.
But I'm not sure. Like there's times where I'll turn my brain off and watch something or play a game. Mm-hmm. But even then I'll still be thinking about the game and the show, you know?
Yeah. It's like, for me, it's either I think nothing or I will have one line from whatever random song stuck in my head on repeat for like hours.
Yeah.
And I hate that. So I would usually just, either find something to focus on or at some point just not focus on anything. It was very peaceful.
Especially if it's like an annoying ass song. You haven't heard in a while, or a song that you don't like, but it's catchy enough to stay in your head.
I remember one specific scenario is I was zoning out in the shoe mod. I was stowing out in the shoe mod. And Michael Jackson's Black or White, I forgot what the name of the song was.
It doesn't matter if you're black or white.
That lyric specifically, actually, was just on repeat in my head. And I was pissed.
I don't know any of the rest of the song.
Yeah. It happens. It was catchy.
It's because I don't listen to fucking pedophiles.
Well, there's your issue, I guess.
Fucking bleaching pedophile. That's my issue? Is that what you just said?
Yep.
Wow, this guy doesn't listen to pedophiles? You're insane.
You're crazy,
dude.
bro.
Look at this pretentious little fuck over here. Oh, I don't listen to pedophiles. Oh, fucking get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like, leave, bro. Just...
Yes, you do. Half the artists you listen to are in the Illuminati. And we all know that...
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
We're going to have to edit that part out because
Probably.
YouTube won't like that very much. YouTube took us down for just making fun of anti-vaxxers. If they went through this and said like, oh, now he's talking about celebrities doing that. No. Here's another strike, motherfucker.
Hey,
at the very least, when this is uploaded, I think that original strike will finally be gone.
Might be gone. Oh,
it was the middle of June sometime.
Yeah, it's possible. I can even check right now. Oh,
we had to.
Yeah.
For those of you who like just found this podcast, we had a strike on our second episode ever because we made fun of people who believe some things about the vaccine
community. Yeah,
and YouTube took us down for medical misinformation.
Just surprising because I didn't really give any medical information, but you know. But yeah, our strike will be down before this episode comes out, so.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yes,
we got
sir.
a couple of things to celebrate.
It's just a full 2 weeks of celebration, man.
Speaking of YouTube, 50 subscribers.
50 subs, yes, sir.
50 subs. We really, really, really appreciate that. We were going to mention at the end of the episode, I'm sure, but just that's a decent little milestone. I know it's a lot from shorts, and that doesn't really carry over into the content itself. But if you are here watching and you found us through the shorts, we really do appreciate that.
Appreciate everybody.
It really means a lot.
It does. I had to wrangle those last 2 subs in tonight, actually.
And even I imagine big things for this, and I know you have to wrangle me in a lot of what I want to do and the ideas that I have, but I still find it hard to believe that even 50 people saw one of the shorts or saw the podcast or saw a clip or saw the TikToks or whatever and was like, yeah, I'll follow this. Click subscribe or whatever. It still blows my mind.
Yeah. Didn't think it would at least make it to, 10, but we're here at 50, so
yeah, I'm
as happy as can be.
Even after I did TikTok for a year, well, 3 years.
It was well over a year.
Yeah, 3 years. I don't know why I said a year. 3 years and gained almost 6,000 followers just off sports content. And it blew my mind that 6,000 people, there were some bots in there, but around 6,000 people all said like, yeah, this guy's interesting. I'll give him a cheeky little follow.
Yeah. I'm even though somebody called you Mini Lad, but we'll take it.
I was shocked at that. Mini Lad? Mini Lad.
He's
white and he has glasses. This is Mini Lad.
That's you, fucking obviously.
Idiot. Fucking idiot.
He was
like, no, I swear to God, that's Mini Lad. What? Go
back to Jack Harlow.
I've never gotten that before. And just listen to the short. I'm American.
Obviously not. What do you mean?
I talk like this. Oi, it's me, Mini Lad.
I flew to you to see you Tuesday. What do you mean? Or Monday. Oops. I had to get my passport and everything.
Some of my favorite memes on the internet is the British people are faking the accent. So I went up to my lady and I was like, I hate it. I really do. British people just need to stop talking like that. And she's never seen these memes. And she was like, what? And I said, it's not real. They need to just stop. And it's kind of fucked up how they force that accent on their kids. And she's like, that's not how that works.
Now, I was like, yes, I've been seeing a lot of UK reacts to American stuff. Like, there's this one dude that his whole content is just I can't remember his name for the life of me, but it's just a bunch of like Brit reacts to USA's military or something along those lines. It's like, okay,
They really can't get over us.
I guess not. We're just number one in the world.
They lost us over 200 years ago, almost 300 years ago,
Yeah.
and they still can't get over it. Stop talking with the funny accent and get over us, British. Talk like this. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Stop talking like that.
Yeah, bro. Just like, can't you just like drop the accent? Like, it's not that hard.
I brought this up today too because I saw this video that makes its way onto my For You page every now and then, where it's a German person, an American person, and someone else, and they're each saying a word. Like they said sex, they said ambulance, they said hospital.
Oh, German. I think it was like French, American.
Yeah, and German is just a stupid, like whoever the French and American person, the words sounded somewhat alike, and I know it's not a big deviation between French and American, but the German language was just so like Krankenhaus, something like that. That was a hospital.
Yeah.
And I brought this up to my lady, and I was like, yeah, Germans just need to stop it. I want to go to Germany, and I want to go to a German person and say, talk normally.
You were thinking of ambulance, Krankenwagen. That's what I was like. It sounded familiar.
And I just told her, I was like, I want to go to Germany. Just tell them, stop talking like that. Talk normally. Use a normal language.
The closest video I could think of was this dude driving, monologuing about how the UK is switching up some of its official language. And I'm pretty sure it was all like not ironic, or it was all ironic. But he slowly transitioned from having a British accent to talking in German. And I was just like, all right, bro. And he was like, he did it smoothly.
See, a lot of Europeans, my brother is fancy on this Swedish girl. And I was like, did you have to learn Sweden? Or like, he was like, no, she knows English. It's like, is that my American brain being an American brain? And he's like, yeah. Most European people know several languages. Like, even in like Japan, I heard, sometimes I'll tune back in to watch a PewDiePie video. And he lives in Japan. And he met a girl who knows Japanese, English, and Swedish. I was like, golly, dude. Damn.
My friend's boyfriend knows English, Spanish, French, and I cannot for the life of me think of
how many of those are fluent though.
Language. He's fluent in French, Spanish, English, and wait, that's everything.
Oh, he's fluent in all of them?
Yeah.
Let's shoot him.
No. Oh, in Arabic. There we go. I can't say that. Out.
I can't say that. Looks like we're going to have to cut another thing out of this podcast. Except it's just going to cut me off at shoot him. He's a... Let's play What Did Jackie Say?
Probably going to cut some of that out. All right. Anyways. Yeah, no.
I've actually...
Go ahead.
My lady really wants to travel the world. And I thought about like planning for a place in the year and then learning some of the language before we go. But then again, I don't want to be that asshole who is, I don't know, speaking to an Italian person. And they're like, pasta. And they're like, dude, just talk to me normal. I'll be like, all right, thank God.
I mean, I had to do that in like Spanish class in high school because he refused to let us speak English in that class. And the one like phrase I could always remember was "Puedo ir al baño," just like, can I go to the bathroom? Because that was like the one thing I could say.
My buddy took French. And the first thing he did when he took French was send me a picture of a chicken. And in French said, I am the chicken.
All right, that was a very obvious I'm in the machine throwback.
My other buddy took Spanish, and the first word he learned was head ass. Or a word that means close to head ass, because I don't think there is a Spanish word that directly translates to head ass. But he's like, I'm just going to start saying this to people, just so they're confused.
I'm going to look that up now.
I was so bad at Spanish. And have you ever, like, when taking those languages, did your jaw start hurting?
No? What were you doing to learn the language?
I was blowing my teacher because I was failing. No.
Okay.
That's awkward. No, we're just going to move past that. It wasn't one of those classes. But no, I think we were learning the months or something. Mm-hmm. And she had us repeat it so many times that my jaw started hurting. I guess, like, because my mouth was moving in a different way than it was used to.
I guess.
Because, again, I was blowing the Spanish teacher for a grade.
Yeah.
And I'm not gay, so my jaw isn't really used to, Spanish teacher cock going down my throat.
That would make sense. Going to cut some of that out.
It tastes like queso. Is that racist?
No, did you never notice the bowl of queso sitting right next to him every time?
He dipped his cock in queso. Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you just
dropped
said?
this conversation.
He put his
on
cock in the thing
on
of
another
queso
note,
before...
head ass in Spanish is cabeza culo. So, there we go. I looked up head ass as one word and it just brought up head. And I was like, that's not right.
Again, I said her name. God damn it.
Okay, yeah, got you.
She asked me, she was like, you took Spanish? I said, yeah. And she was like, say a Spanish sentence to me. And I just said mi amor. And she was like, that's such a basic one. I was like, you told me to speak Spanish.
I'm over here thinking good answer, like winning points with the lady.
No. She's like, it's a basic one. I was like, you don't know another language, so you can't really speak on these things.
I've like retained some Spanish language knowledge, but not enough to form a sentence nowadays. I usually I went through a phase of like Duolingo, and I was trying to learn French, I want to say, and I made it decently far, and then I stopped and forgot everything about it.
When I started to learn Spanish and I learned like numbers, there was a receiver for the Bengals in the mid-2000s to early 2010s named Chad Johnson. And he legally changed his name to Ocho Cinco because the number he wore was 85.
Yeah.
And then I was in Spanish class, and 85 is not Ocho Cinco.
No, not at all.
I can't remember what it actually is. It's not Ocho Cinco. So I was about to do the whole... He's counting.
Sorry, I'm counting in Spanish.
He's counting in Spanish.
Ochenta.
I know nueve is 20, and 21 would be like nueve en uno or something like that. Nueve e uno, if I'm remembering correctly.
You're remembering incorrectly.
Oops. Or
Pretty
bente?
sure 20 is catorce.
The fuck is bente?
Bente?
Once, doce, trece.
Once, doce, trece, catorce, quince. Wait, that's 11,
Those
12,
are
13,
teens.
14, 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck, what was 85? For the life of me.
It's their fault for changing that so much. Just say 21.
Yeah.
Stop making it complicated. Just say
85, that's what it was. He was very wrong.
But for a second, I was like, I did the actually thing of like, And I was like, don't do that. Don't be that fucking guy. I've legitimately seen people. I didn't know these people existed. I thought these people went extinct 15 years ago. There's legitimately people that will get in comment sections and start their comment off with, and I was like, you exist?
Yeah.
I thought you were government mandated shot in the street because that's what you deserve, you fucking bitch. That shit is so annoying. Especially when they're so obviously wrong, but they're trying to throw their cock on the table. Like, actually it's like this. Fuck you.
Had a friend who would only pronounce his major as some long string of words that I cannot remember because it was irrelevant. And he liked to play like devil's advocate in whatever political debate we were having because we were those kids. But he would always be like, actually that's incorrect. And I was just like, shut up. Stop, because you're wrong and we all know it.
If you start your sentence off like that, you lose any amount of credibility that you had entering the conversation. I don't care if you are advocating for the most virtuous thing in the world. If you start your thing with, really, you get stabbed. I'm throwing whatever's in my hand at you. That shit is so annoying.
Every time.
And like I said, I thought they went extinct 15 years ago because of all the jokes that have been made. And most of them get made that they look like me and do the but no, they're still here. They're still rocking on the internet.
They're going
for no reason. Yeah. Nobody wants you there.
It's really bad when I like scroll through Instagram. I love reading Instagram comments to see who's an idiot and who actually isn't. And most of the time, the idiot people are always the actually ones, and they're still like prevalent.
You see, I'm getting to a point where the only comment section I'll really scroll through is if we get comments on our videos, and even then it's a fucking headache. Did you keep up with this dumb shit that Nick Merckx did?
No.
Okay, you know who Nick Merckx is?
Nope.
FaZe Nick Merckx played with Tim the Tatman and Dr. Disrespect all the time.
I never really watched Dr. Disrespect. I'd rarely watched Tim the Tatman. And I've never paid attention to FaZe because that same friend said he was like recruited to be in FaZe and still don't believe him.
Well, when we were 13 playing Black Ops 2, we all put, not all of us, but a lot of us put FaZe as our clan tag because that's when FaZe was at like peak popularity.
Yeah.
But Nick Merckx is one of these guys that I see a lot in which he got himself in a little controversy because he said, I don't have a problem with LGBTQ people, just keep it away from the kids. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Months went by, and it's what everybody predicted. He now sat on stream and he was talking about how trans people don't exist, it's a mental illness, and yada, 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 right? And I'm bringing this up because scrolling through that comment section on people who will look you in the face and say like, yeah, I don't have a problem with gay people, just stop pushing it on the kids. I don't believe you, ever. You are just trying to water down your actual message because you don't want to seem like a dick. Even though you're the same people that facts don't care about your feelings, you don't want to seem like a dick. And this just that just keep it away from the kids. No, you legitimately don't want gay people around or trans people around. Stop trying to water this shit down. Say it with your chest.
It usually always starts out that way. It's like, yeah, I don't care, just keep it away from the kids. And then they'll go back sooner rather than later and be like, actually, I hate this entire group of people.
It's to seem reasonable. Mm-hmm. And to have all those little fucking 13-year-old snotty little brats talk about, well, he you know, we just keep away from kid, man, you know.
Yeah, no. It's that's why I don't take internet debates seriously sometimes, because it's always like for one, you don't have to say what you mean and nobody can tell otherwise. And two, like, people usually use that as a facade to say whatever the hell they want. And half the time it's irrelevant.
But then I made the mistake of going into the comments. And a lot of people were like, oh, he's a fucking idiot. And we knew he was an idiot. And people were responding to them with like, oh, are people not allowed to have opinions? You're trying to cancel him now? It's like, I'm giving my opinion on his dumbass opinion.
Yeah, that's why I don't participate in many comment sections, because it's always my opinion matters more than yours. Your opinion doesn't matter, but you're trying to shit on somebody else's opinion, so I'm going to shit on you for being a person, I guess, and having an opinion.
And you can almost, like, some people are real good at hiding just rage bait, just trolling.
Yeah.
Which I think trolling and rage bait is some of the childish shit. Someone made a video, I was looking up X-Men 97 content, and someone made a video bitching about how Rogue is not in a skin-tight suit and how she doesn't have a fatter ass or bigger titties. And a lot of people in the comments were like, I think you're watching X-Men for the wrong reasons. Like, you're watching X-Men with tissues and lotion in your hand. And he was like, actually, this is just rage bait and you fell for it and I made money off of you. I was like, if that's what you want your little fucking legacy to be, I guess go for it.
Yeah, it reminds me of that video that I sent. I think I sent it to you. It's a dude with making a list of his like top all-time like NBA players. And that list was so stupid that it had to be rage bait.
There's a TikTok page, Player's Choice, who I had to pull out of, I had to block, because their whole thing is making an absurd statement, insulting anyone who disagrees with it, just so you get riled up and fill the comment sections or engage with them. And I was like, he said, dude said, I know you don't know a lot about football, but for anybody who does, he said, Jameis Winston is the next Peyton Manning. And anybody who disagrees with me is just a female because you're in your feelings. And I was like, this is what you want. You just want to say wild shit to get people angry. That's what you want. And this dude looked like he was
works for the engagement, but it's just a shitty like look for yourself.
And this dude looked like he was about 35 years old. I'm like, don't you got kids to take care of? And you're trying to anger teenagers on an app? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to stop. One of my favorite podcasts for a while was Bussin' with the Boys. But they just started getting real weird with their beliefs, including Will, who would just get on Twitter and laugh and joke about how he's rage baiting people. I'm like, the only people that are falling for your rage bait are teenagers who don't understand the world or elders who don't understand how social media works. Everybody else thinks you're a fucking loser. And this dude has a wife and a kid. Go take care of them. Holy shit.
That's you are pushing this for it, man. You know, he's got to pull the rage bait so he can get the engagement, the money, so he can support his family, you know?
Dude, being in your mid-30s, trying to hang your hat on like, yeah, I'm an internet troll. What the fuck?
Yeah, happens to the worst of them, I guess. Internet trolls in general, I just don't have a good feeling about, because it's always like the stupidest things that people will always get mad about. And it's just like, this is very obviously something that you are trying to pull reactions from just because you thought it was funny, I guess. And you thought it was funny to get a bunch of people mad at you just so they'll fill your comment section.
Yeah.
And I mean, sure, it works. I'll give it that, but it's just stupid.
See, I've engaged with it a little bit, but the times I haven't done like a tweet. I've just made a video, but my voice was very exaggerated. And I was like, throughout the entire thing, just acting stupid. So it was very obvious it was satire. And you still had dumb motherfuckers in the comments being like, You actually believe this? You think that Sue Bird would beat LeBron James 1-on-1? Like, no. No, and it's very clear from my tone that I don't actually believe that.
No, but your tone, you know, it sounded very straight edge, you know? It sounded very believable.
But people just... The rise of, like, satire news sites just have exposed so many people that want to tell you, like, hey, do your own research, you know, don't trust anybody, but they'll come across the headline, they're like, I agree with that. That validates my opinion. And they don't read it.
Keep it light, but yeah.
In which, dude, one fucking click, satire news site. One click, and you'll find that out.
Yeah, somebody from your family did that, though, didn't they?
Couple of them.
Sounds about right. I am glad that none of my family have actually done that, but then again, my family is like only on Facebook usually. And there have been times I've seen, like, not even specifically my family, but people that we're all close to. It's like they post some dumb shit, and I'm just like, all right, time to get off of Facebook, I guess. I was only here for 5 minutes, but I don't want to be a part of any of that.
My family is very religious, and there was one year, I know we talk about don't ask for anything on my birthday, but there was one year I really, really wanted this hoodie from Cartoons, YouTuber I watched a couple times. And it was, I said I liked playing cards. It was a black hoodie, and on the back was a Ace of Spades playing card, but it was like his logo in a devil horn, devil skull kind of design.
Yeah.
I was like, if any of y'all want to get something for my birthday, get this, because I really, really want this. And my family filled the comment section with like, why would you want something that has a devil on it? Why would you do that? Why are you inviting that energy? I'm like, so I'm not getting that.
Yeah, you should have known.
I posted a screenshot of a Star-Lord album that I really, really liked. And it was with the pinnacle and this like demon entity, if you want to call it, in front of it. With the usual, just think the basic default metal font. That's how the album was spelled out on it. Yeah. And I had so many of my family members going, oh, why would you do this? Why are you voting this? Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why I don't wear, like, a couple years back with my ex, I went to the Hella Mega tour. It was, Green Day, and a few other people, because I can't remember them for the life of me. But their, like, image was like a goat with, like, a very, like, metal-themed image, and I was like, yeah, I'm not wearing this like around some of my family. Because I know, yeah, they would not like that. So yeah, it usually stays here. Like, I wear it around town, but I wear it around most of my family. I know which ones not to wear it around.
Even like, I was playing Evil Angel by Breaking Benjamin, which is a phenomenal song. I was playing it on the TV one day at my dad's house while we were doing something, and my stepmom was like, turn that off. I said, why? I said, look at the title. I said, have you heard the song? She was like, no, but turn it off. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it happens. It's there's a lot of Christians against certain things. Like, I know people whose family wouldn't allow them to watch Harry Potter.
I never heard that. Just because of the witch and warlock shit?
Yeah, the witches shit. And it's just, they're like, that's demonic.
Like with my grandfather, my grandparents were big, like, sci-fi people. So that was never really going to be a thing in that house.
Yeah, gratefully it was never a thing for me, because I read all the books and watched all the movies, so multiple times.
I wasn't a fucking dork anyway.
All right, fuck you.
Got into Harry Potter. Fucking loser.
I'm shitting on you for having an opinion. Fuck you.
You were drinking from the goblet of fire while I was, I don't know, something witty about getting laid, you know.
Got me. I need some ice now.
I tried so hard, but my brain is just not letting me be witty right now. I tried to, like, I heard a great one where dude was like, you're sitting around watching Rick and Morty while I have my dick in Shardy. Dap me up, you fucking loser.
It's like, I bet you're crying from that one now, aren't you, huh?
But we're approaching an hour. This episode did not really go how we planned for it to go. Yeah. But having an episode centered around me and the reflection on myself, I was going to feel a bit awkward and probably just be very depressing. going forward, just with the little bits and pieces y'all have seen me take this little mask off. So I'm glad how it went. How do you think it went, Z?
I'm glad, the audience got to know you a little better. You didn't pull some you were a great friend, so I'm glad about that.
I didn't pull a little Bud Dwyer on this bitch. Do you get that reference?
Nope.
Okay, I won't let you. Don't look it up.
Okay.
But follow us on all the socials, TikTok, Twitter, subscribe on YouTube, do all that good stuff. Make sure you like, rate, and share the show, especially rating, especially sharing. Rate it 5 stars on whichever platform you must. And Z, can you do the rest of the outro because my chest is burning?
Yeah, sure. I hope you're all right. But, we are available everywhere. We've got Spotify, Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts. We're everywhere. If you want to not see us in the face because we're two ugly bastards, you can go listen to us because I think we have good voices, hopefully. But
lock them doors and turn them lights down low.
As Jackie always says, word of mouth is the way to go. So if you've got some people, they come up to you the dead of night while you're walking alone on the side of the road, and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm getting really bored recently, and I'd like to listen to a good old podcast." What do they say, Jackie?
You tell them. The homies Jackie and Z got a pod come out every noon Monday Central Time. Red Light Homies, all platforms. And then you tell them to get the fuck away from you or you're calling the cops.
Yeah, and the cops will be on their way shortly. But with that, I'm Z, that's Jackie. I'd like to wish you a good night and happy birthday to you, Jackie.